Hari Om. Let's start with a prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the Panchadasi, the 10th chapter, which is called Nataka Deepa Prakaranam, where Vidyaranya emphasizes the discrimination required in order to recognize that I am Brahman, and after recognition, see that the whole world is nothing but the drama of life itself. So after recognition, I see the world still. Now I enjoy as a Deepam, Nataka Deepam, so as a consciousness illumining the drama of life that's going on. For that, I had to transcend my understanding that I am this to I am the totality. So for that, vichara is required. If I don't do vichara, that is bondage. And if I do proper vichara, inquiry of the nature of I am, because it's not really real, but I am taking unreal as a real, so it is mithya. So I cannot eliminate mithya. False knowledge can only be removed by the appropriate correct knowledge. By jumping up and down, I may be only making the false knowledge more real. But what I have to do is recognize the false as the false is the only means of eliminating the false and recognizing the substantive which is really real. So satyasya satyam, the absolute reality has to be recognized. So that will how it is done and what are the problems are not now going to be discussed. Let's chant the verse 6. Ahamichabhimantayaha Ahamichabhimantayaha Kartasau tasya sadhanam Kartasau tasya sadhanam Manastasya kriye antaha Manastasya kriye antaha Bahirvrutti kramostitau Bahirvrutti kramostite. Together. Ahamichabhimantayaha Kartasau tasya sadhanam Manastasya kriye antaha Bahirvrutti kramostite. So yaha aham iti abhimancha. So yaha, whatever, that whoever is, aham iti, I am this, abhimancha, aham iti. Aham iti is, I am this. Abhimancha, so identification that I am this itself is the error there. So yaha, whoever has a notion that I am this is having a problem. So who is born or who is ignorant? Ignorant is the one who takes what he is not as he is. So I am not this, but I take I am this. So this is why I am not this, because that's why everybody thinks they know themselves. But the very fact, if you ask them, say, sir, who are you? They will tell, I am this. So exposing their ignorance. So even though I don't know myself, the problem is I don't know that I don't know myself. And I take myself, I know myself. And that's more dangerous. Because one who does not know and does not know that he does not know is fool. You have to leave him until he starts inquiring. Say, I am taking something what I am not as I am, but who am I? So he doesn't know, and now he knows that he doesn't know. At least he's simple, you can teach him. So now first step is, in this process of removing bondage, I am taking myself what I am not as I am, and operating in this world, not only this life, life after life after life I am doing it, without inquiring whether what I am doing is right or wrong, then there is no solution to the problem. So you have to leave him until he gets stoned enough, or he gets the suffering enough intensely, until his viveka, the intellect starts developing to inquire, says why is this life, what is this life, and so on and so forth. That inquiry has to start, then only the teaching will be valid. So when you have a abhimanam, intense identification that I am this, so more this, more I am. So my whole life is trying to improve this. What is this? Whatever that I have is I am. So I am trying to accumulate more of, so I am not that, and I want that also to be included in this. So all my pursuit in life is nothing but making this grow bigger and bigger to reach infinity. So aham iti, I am this, abhimancha, having intense identification that I am this, that is essentially ego. Ego is defined, ahankara is defined as nothing but I am this. So people have big ego, means they have big this. I know who I am this, I am so and so, I am son of so and so, or I am related to brother-in-law of that minister or prime minister, and so on. That's all. People throw all over the names here to show that I am also big. So I am big because all my this is big. So aham iti abhimancha. And what makes that problem? When I identify myself, I am this, and I don't like these limitations of this, because this is limited by space-wise, time-wise, object-wise. However big that this is not still different from that, because that is including the whole rest of the universe, that. And I am limited by space-wise, time-wise, and object-wise, and I want that also to be included in this, so that I am this become big, this can become big. That's why people become millionaires and billionaires, trying to acquire more of this, thinking that the more this that I have, more I am, because I am identifying with this as I am. So once I see the limitations of this, and my intrinsic nature of I am is Satchidananda, which is infinite. Being infinite and taking myself finite is a bigger problem. If I am really finite, there is no problem. Like most of the Dvaitins think that each one is like a pot. That's their Swarupa also. Each one is like a pot, one is a bigger pot and one is a smaller pot. So mukti is nothing but you have to have a pot full of happiness. Once your pot is full, they cannot take any more. So you are full. So fullness is not the infinite. Fullness is to keep your pot full. And some are bigger pots. Why they are bigger pots and why I am smaller pots? Don't ask that question. That is so. That is how it is. So you cannot change that. So this is what the Dvaita philosophy. I am just giving simple example, but that's what the Dvaita philosophy is. Whereas Visishtadvaita is, even though you are small, you are part of the big one. So you have you have a different problem. Even though you are small, but you are part of the bigger one, so you can enjoy the bigness of the bigger one, even still remaining small. So that's called Visishtadvaita. Where Advaita says you are really infinite. There is no question of this and that and part, because the infinity cannot have parts. So your nature is infinite, but if you are infinite but you are taking yourself finite, there is a problem there, and that problem is not knowing that your true nature, and that's what essentially has to be understood. So this ahamiti abhimancha, so once I take myself what I am not as I am, and I don't like the limitations of this, therefore I try to solve a problem where there is no real problem, and I have become a doer, that is karta, and I'm doing a sadhana because I want now become big by what? By adding to this something, because iti is different from that. So therefore I want to make this as big as possible. In fact, by adding this I want to reach infinity. So I am a doer, karta. The karta is I become a doer, asau tasya sadhanam, because I had to do something in order to become big. I had to do either going here, doing something and so on. So action is required to make that into this. That means the karta. And for that, sadhanam, equipment is required. What kind of equipment? I need the mind and I need the body. Mind to think what I need, and the body to execute also. If it is something that I don't know physics, I don't know physics, therefore I am limited because of not having a knowledge, then the mind itself is a means to gain the knowledge also. So here it says sadhanam is a means, is manasaha asya kriye. So mind is the main instrument and for any knowledge, and for any execution of action also, because the mind has to direct the activities at the karmendriyas. Karmendriyas means the speech and the hands and legs and the instruments for the rejection and so on and so forth. So manastasya kriye. So the manaha tasya kriye, in the activities of the knowledge to takes place by two ways, he says. Manaha says manastasya kriye, says two ways in which knowledge takes place. He says antaha bahir vritti krama uttite. So antaha bahihi vrittihi, antarvritti and bahivritti. So antarvritti, bahivritti, we have discussed before in the other chapters, and he is going to give a summary of this here. So antarvritti means the internal perceptions and also the ownership of that I am a knower, and this is known. So known coming from the external bahirvritti, about the external objects, related to external objects we call, because according to the Vedanta, not Vedanta, according to Advaita Vedanta, which follows Mimamsa, where the mind has to go out, and therefore mind is a sadhana, and through the indriyas it grasps the object, that is bahirvritti. And antarvritti is that knowledge is owned as I know. So this is a part is bahirvritti. I know this is a part is coming from the ownership of the knowledge of the part, because I am the owner. So that thought ahamvritti is coming from inner, that's called antavritti. Antavritti also includes internal perceptions such as that I am happy, I am angry. These are nothing to do with the sense organs. It is something internally. I am happy, angry, jealousy. All those things are internal perceptions also. They are not related to sense organs. That's why we call it antaha. And bahihi involves sense organs. Therefore, we call it bahihi. So antarvrittihi krama uttite. So in order, it is krama means first I get a bahirvritti and forms a thought in the mind, and thought in the mind is joining with the subject I am, for me to claim that I am the knower of this thought. So antar bahirvritti krama uttite. So now he is differentiating why I am this, and this includes two aspects, ahamvritti and idamvritti. One is antaha, inner, and another is bahi, based on the sense organs. So he is going to talk about sense organs now. Number 7. Antarmukhaha mitchesha. Antarmukhaha mitchesha. Vrittik kartara mullikhet. वृत्तिः कर्तारमुल्लिखे बहिर्मुखेदमित्येषा बहिर्मुखेदमित्येषा भाष्यां वस्त्वदमुल्लिखेत् भाष्यां वस्त्विदमुल्लिखेत् together antharmukhahamityesha vrittik kartaramullikhe bahirmukhedamityesha bhashyam vastvidamullikhet aham iti esha. This type aham vritti, aham iti, I am iti means aham vritti. This type of thought, I am, how does it come? It comes because I am a knower. So when say this is a pot, how do you know it's a pot? I can see. So seeing the pot is outside, and the pot forms a thought in the mind, that's called bahirvritti, and the thought is known by consciousness joining with the existence expressed as a thought. For me to be conscious of the existence of the thought, therefore conscious of the existence of the object out there. So therefore, yesha aham vritti antarmukha, and it is inner vision. Antarmukha means inside face. That means I am seeing that I am seer of the pot inside the mind. Outside I am seeing through perceptions, but that forms a vritti in the thought. And now I am seeing inside that as though I am a knower of the thought. Therefore I say I know the contents of the thought is nothing but the contents of the object out there. But I know this is a pot. So this is a pot. I say this is a pot, this is a chair, this is that. How do you know? I know this is a pot. So any perception involves first the vritti formation from the outside, and immediately and spontaneously I am thought arises, that ownership, owning that the thought of the object as I am a knower of this, and that comes spontaneously. It's not another vritti like the bahirvritti, because then in that case I need to have, how do I know that? Then I know that all that the continuous chain will come. So only ways I am a knower comes spontaneously when idam vritti arises. Aham vritti spontaneously comes there in the knowledge. So here he is differentiating antarmukha mityesha vritti kartara mulliket vrittihi kartara mulliket esha. So antarmukha in the inwards, vritti thoughts, kartaram, I am the doer, I am a knower, I am a seer, I am a sleeper. All this where I am identifying myself, that is the ego, ahankara comes, because I am the doer, is the action is being done through the hands and all that. But owning the action is I am a doer comes from the spontaneously inside the mind, by practice automatically comes, and that is consciousness that I am claiming that I am a doer. Okay, unconscious entity cannot claim. So you have to be analyzed in everything. This is a vichara now. Vichara is every thought that I see, every object that I see involves the vritti formation of the object. Vritti formation of the object means that through, he is going to tell in the next sloka, where I am seeing the form and colors, sounds and so on. These are grasped by the senses, and in the grasping it forms a thought in the mind. According to Veda, according to the Mimamsa, on Advaita, his mind is going out and forming a vritti. That's called vritti vyapti. And vritti forms in the mind, and that has to be illuminated by the consciousness that I am. So subject I am joins with the object this, which is expressed as the thought in the mind, for me to be conscious of the existence of the thought, therefore conscious of the existence of the object out there. So therefore antarmukha ahamiti esha. So this becomes the ego entity, kartaram, I am a doer, kartaram ullikhet. So ullikhet, becomes of the object of knowledge, that I am a doer, I am a seer, I am a taster, I see, I do. So don't say I am a seer, but I say I see this is a pot, I know this is sweet, I know this is hot. So owning that knowledge also comes as aham vritti, that rises spontaneously and not as another thought, but spontaneously as part of the knowledge itself. We call it, to separate from the idam vritti, we call it aham vritti, a knower notion, that I am a knower spontaneously arises. I am a doer also. Kartaram, I am a doer, jiva. Ullikhet, it becomes an object of my knowledge. So when I say I am a doer, we call it a jiva, because jiva is the one who claims that I am a doer. That means kartrutva bhavam is there. Whenever there is a kartrutva bhavam, there will be automatically the results come, I am an enjoyer. So I made this, now I am enjoying it. So enjoyment also comes as a bhoktrutvam, as a result of the execution of seeing, tasting and so on and so forth. So the karta, executor and enjoyer, the kartrutvam and called bhoktrutvam, enjoyment of the results of the actions, also raises that I am an enjoyer, I am enjoying, I am happy, I am unhappy. All those situations depending on dukkheshu, anudvignamanaha, sukheshu, vigataspruha, sthita prajna does not get excited about the enjoyment or the suffering. But here, others asthita prajna, or the one who is ignorant, participates in the actions and the results as I am a doer. That is a ahankara. Ahankara means aham karoti, I am a doer. That's a jiva. Ullikhet, it becomes an object of knowledge. Idam iti, this is this type of the knowledge that I am a doer, udam iti, that means knowing that I am a doer, I am a seer, that owning thought is essentially is the I thought. And idam thought, thought is something to do with the outside, and idam iti, esha of that type is bahirmukha, is related to the external object. So this is the pot, this is so idam, this that I am pointing out, idam, occurs thing that is pointed is outside, and that is essentially bahirmukha, that involves the sense organs, and that's he is going to tell in the next sloka. So he calls it bahirvrutti. The thoughts related to the objects outside is bahirvrutti. The thoughts, internal thoughts, that owning thoughts is antarmukha. And the knowledge is by logical analysis, when you talk about, there is a antar and also bahir involved there. So anumana pramana, I see that there is a smoke out there, that is bahihi, and antar is there is a fire there, that comes from the internal deduction, and that comes from the vichara, and that is antar also. That doesn't involve the sense organs, but involves the inner analysis. So we have only at the gross level outside and inside. Anything inside is coming from the internal, and outside is from the object outside. And a scientist trying to investigate what is the fundamental nature of this universe, and looking at the universe only as a matter, he is trying to investigate, and therefore he is using the tools only appropriate for the matter, gross tools, because he thinks that fundamentally it's only matter, consciousness came later. So therefore his fundamental nature of the cause for the universe, he is looking at even the smallest particle and calls it a God particle. But anything that is particle cannot be God, because God is not an object for me to analyze. So for a complete analysis, one has to include both the subject and object, and scientist does not have, the objective scientists do not have the tools to investigate the subject. Bahirmukha Bahyam related to external Vritti thoughts. Idam Vritti Ulliki. That's called this thoughts, and therefore he differentiates Aham thought and this thought. Aham thought and Idam thought. So this thought and my I thought and this thought, which Ramana Maharshi also calls Aham Vritti and Idam Vritti, he calls it also. Do 8 now. Idamo ye visheshaha syuhu gandharupa rasadayaha. Idamo ye visheshaha syuhu gandharupa rasadayaha. Asam karyena tan bhidyad. Asam karyena tan bhidyad. Granadindriya panchakam. Granadindriya panchakam. Idamo ye visheshaha syuhu gandharupa rasadayaha. Asam karyena tan bhidyad. Granadindriya panchakam. So, idamo, that this type of object, this is type of objects. Idam means whatever I can point out, idam, that this. So the whole universe I had to point out this. So anything this becomes the whole universe. So Isha Vasya Midagum Sarvam, this entire this that I can point out is pervaded by the Ishvara. That's what Isha Upanishad starts with. And therefore Purnamidam means this that I am pointing out is infinite, because the universe itself is space is also this space itself is infinite. Therefore anything inside the space is also goes to infinity, and therefore this type of objects. So these thoughts, these Visheshaha are objects, Gandha Rupa Rasadayaha, related to the 5 senses, Gandha Rupa Rasa Adi. So Gandha means smell, Rupa is form, Rasa is taste. So I give him 3 senses here, Adi. The 2 more is the Sparsha and Shabda. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. That's how it goes. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Because we have Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. Akasha, space. Akasha, Vayu, the air. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, fire. Apaha, the water. And Prithvi, this earth. And along with, in that, the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. So these are individually. Akasha has only Shabda, and Vayu has Shabda and Akasha Shabda Sparsha. So each one picks up the previous attributive of that, plus additional one of its own. So Akasha is space, Akasha Vayu is Shabda and the Sparsha, and Akasha Vayu, Agni. Now you have Rupa also, Shabda Sparsha Rupa, and the Jalam. Jalam contains Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa also. Rasam comes from the water. If your saliva is dry, you cannot taste anything. So you need a water in order to taste. So Rasam comes from the taste, and Madras Rasam is always liquid. So that is what we call it Rasam. And then the earth, Sabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa, Gandha, smell comes from the Gandha. So the earth has all the 4 previous ones, plus also in addition to that you have a extra, which is essentially the Gandham. So that's how all the 5 senses are. Gandha Rupa Rasadayaha. Asam Karyena. That is the Asam Karyena. So each individual sense organ is Vidyate, is perceived. Asam Karyena Vidyat. Granad Indriya Panchakam. Granad Indriya Panchakam. See, the 5 types of sense organs are involved for 5 types of sense objects. So you have objects are also 5, senses are also 5. Each sense organ will see only its field. So eyes can only see colors and forms. It cannot hear, it cannot taste. So the field of operation of the pramana is fixed. And I don't need any other proof other than this. So how do I know what I see is this? So maybe taste it, you will know. No. So taste as eyes are pramana. Prime pramana for all the colors and forms also, complete forms. And therefore, and there is no other way to know colors. For example, perhaps forms you can touch it, but you may make a mistake also, like 5 blind people describing the elephant, each one touching only one component and thinking that that's all the elephant is, because they don't have perspective view of elephant. Eyes can see perspectively because eyes have two eyes are there, and therefore you have a stereographic projection to see the depth involved, and therefore you see 3-dimensional vision. Lord has already provided all that. So therefore there are 5 sense organs and 5 sense objects, and each one is limited to its own field. That's called pramana. Pramana is for each one, its field of operation is fixed, and therefore it says the asam karyena. So it says individually, says binjat, they perceive each object. So eyes can only see, ears can only hear, and the smell can only come from the nose, and taste come from the tongue, and so on and so forth. So therefore, by the departmentalizing each one, and it can only operate that, and it is a complete and clear-cut pramana, means of knowledge, and no other means. So that's why pramana is defined anadigata, abadita, artha vishayaka, the jnanatvam pramanam. This is from the Vedanta Paribhasha. So anadigata, which cannot be obtained by any other way, and that becomes a pramanam, means of knowledge. The colors cannot be seen by any other way other than through the eyes. If the eyes are color blind, then I can see only color blindness. You may say it is of this color, but I cannot see. So I am blinded of that part, is not visible anymore. If my sense of hearing is not there, then one part of it is not visible anymore. One part of the universe cannot be heard. So this is all one has to realize. So God has provided 5 sense organs for me to know. The capacity of the sense organs can differ, can change with the age, and so on and so forth. And nothing to do with the world change. The world may be the same, but my perception of the world keeps changing also. All that, therefore, through 5 senses, idam vritti is happening, and that's what is the whole summary is. We'll go back into a little bit more analysis when we come back tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.